house. Curtis here. He only lives just a little ways from me. We've been friends for decades, and this is sales school. You got to learn how to sell something. You're not selling, you're solving problems. How do you solve problems? Well, you look for problems first of all, and then our goal is to go solve them. So let's bring Kurt in. We're going to be talking about price and value, and let's take it from there. All right, go ahead, Kurt.
All right, we're still in sales school. This is sales school number 12. Number 11 went into referrals, getting referrals, asking for referrals. Huge piece of growing, sustaining, building any business that you have. It's all about those referrals. And today we're going to get into the psychology of price, building the value. How do we do this? Huge roadblocks for entrepreneurs, people in a side hustle. This whole price thing. We've talked a little bit about it, but let's take a deeper dive into price and not worrying about price, because let's review, you have a moral and ethical obligation to sell people. Why? Because if you don't, someone else is going to take their money and they're not going to care for them as much as you do. They're not going to provide for them as much as you. They're not going to serve them as much as you. Someone's going to get their money. Someone's got to solve their problem. It might be you. You know what Tom Painter says? The bigger the problem, the more you can charge. But entrepreneurs get stuck in this mindset like, oh, well, I'm new and what about this? And I love what Dan Kennedy talks about, that, hey, decide what you want to charge, take a deep breath, add a zero to it. That's what you should charge. Don't discount yourself. Don't fight on price. Anybody can do that. You don't need any skills to fight on price. Buy the cheapest. But everybody knows you get what you pay for. Everybody knows that. In fact, only 6% of the things people buy are bought on price. 6%. That's it. Now, 66% of the time when you hear it's too expensive, they're lying to you. So if you're hearing it's too expensive, you've blown your presentation. Now, they might say, I can't afford it. I can see the value. I love what you're doing. I'll just have to wait and save up my money. That is okay. So we have to adjust this perception of pricing. Let's talk about it. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. My friend Warren Buffett. So really, that's what people understand. What are they getting? Okay, it's a car, getting a car. But are they comparing it to a Rolls Royce? Are they comparing it to a used car? What are they comparing it to? It's up to you for them to compare it to the right thing. That's the key. You have to understand the human brain and how it works and how we make decisions. What are they comparing it to? Here's the example. Here's your case study. Have you ever heard of Starbucks coffee? Well, if you haven't, you're living under a rock. I think it's in every country in the world. Here's what happened. So in the 70s, they want to come out with this fancy gourmet coffee. But the perception of coffee before any of these stores existed, 25 cents. 50 cents if you're lucky. You go to a convenience store, you go to a donut shop, they fill up your cup, your coffee, you're good for the day. 25, 50 cents. Here comes Starbucks. They want to charge 10 times more than that. How do you get people to pay 10 times more for coffee, brag about it, love it, and do it every day? You change the perception. You can't compare Starbucks to a 7-Eleven, a convenience store. You can't. They've changed the game. They've changed the name of the cup sizes to Grande. It's an environment where you hang out and free Wi-Fi, and it's nice decor, and it's not just calf decaf. It's like a winery, all these different areas in the room. And you have a barista that's being nice to you, writing your name on the cup, creating this gourmet masterpiece for you. Very few people ever complain about the price of Starbucks. They keep going back every day because they've changed the perception. I cannot compare that to a donut shop, and that's what you need to do. What are they comparing it to? For example, I have a CD here, right? Just a regular CD. What's this CD worth? And it kind of puzzles you, like, well, I don't have enough information. Some of you are like, well, I don't even have a computer that will play a CD. So you're like, well, if it's blank, 10 cents, music, $10, software, $100, Kurt's voice, $1,000, software, $10,000. So I went from zero to $10,000. What are they comparing it to? Are they comparing it to a blank CD or a CD that would have software? People would pay $10,000 for this and had software that solved their problem. That's how it is. So it's very important to understand how this works. Understanding the brain, that human perception. Especially if you're dealing with a product or service that people don't get, high tech, explaining software technology, cryptocurrencies. You're dealing with things that people, it's a brand new world for them. You go back to Apple Computer when they first came out. Computer was just lines on a screen. Now they've completely changed the game. So what do they compare it to? How they changed their perception? Well, easy. Okay. So this is your desktop, just like your desktop at work. Here's your trash can, just like your trash can at work. Here's your file cabinet, just like your file cabinet at work. See what they're doing there? Got to change the perceptions, change those expectations. Because think about it, if you went to a mechanic, your car's making sounds, it's clunking, it's stinking, it's smoking, whatever it is. So you pull up and the mechanic says, oh, look at it, go to lunch. Says, well, how much? And I go, I don't know, $200? They're just guessing, they don't know. You come back and it's $1,000 to fix your car. You're a little irritated, a little mad because they did it the wrong way. What if they would have said, whoo, transmission, oil, cracked block, bad tires, brakes are shot. It's not worth fixing. Just go shop for a new car. I'll look at it and let you know, but you probably should be shopping for a new car. And you're like, oh, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. What am I going to get here? And you come back and it's $1,000. And they're happy. Same price tag, $1,000, $1,000, two different reactions. So you have to really see what we're doing here and understand this. So let's review that entrepreneurial mindset. Moral and ethical obligation, learn to salespeople, solve the big problem, put price in perspective. Okay? A lot of times it's you. You've got to have the confidence to be able to say, yeah, this is the price, this is what we're doing. You need to do business. Because someone's going to take their money. Someone's going to sell them. And it might as well be you because you're going to treat them much better than that. So get past the, oh, well, I could charge. Be confident, know your pricing, know what the competition's charging. And it's okay to be the most expensive. It's okay to be in the middle. It's not okay to be the cheapest unless it's a commodity they can get at every street corner. Then you're probably fighting on price. But then if you were selling fruit, you could fight on price, but maybe you're a little more high quality. Maybe they're bigger. There's still ways to kind of figure it out. Maybe you're providing better service. Maybe you're providing a Mango of the Month club, whatever it is, you can work on that. So how much does a hamburger cost? So let's say this is the exact same hamburger. People will pay different prices for it. It depends on the situation, the expectation, the hunger. If you went to a grocery store and bought all the materials, it might cost you a couple bucks just to make one hamburger. If you went to a restaurant, no, let's say Costco, right? They sell cheap items. Go to Costco, you expect to pay so much. You went to a medium restaurant, you expect to pay so much. You went to a really nice restaurant, you pay a little more. Sporting goods store, not a sporting goods store, but a sporting event, that, you'd pay so much for that. If it was the last hamburger on earth and you hadn't eaten for 3 days, you'd probably pay a lot more. There's a range from a couple dollars to maybe $1,000, depending on how hungry you are. So that's the mindset you need to get into. So the first tool, expectations, or the laws of persuasion. You're just expecting them to purchase. You're talking in a way where, price is nothing. You can adjust expectations. There are a variety of ways to do that. Because we know you get what you pay for. We've talked about your expectations that they're going to buy, they're going to purchase. We've talked about that before. But what about creating those expectations of them that they need to get this, they need to purchase it, that you get what you pay for? This is what I'm getting at. If you talk about wine, it could be pain pills. They've done this to a variety of different things that the more you pay, the better it tastes, the better it works. Even though it's the same thing. You're like, that's crazy. No, when they do MRIs on the brain, it actually triggers a place in the brain where the wine tastes better, the pain pill works better when they pay more for it. That's what I'm talking about here, is getting those expectations and what's also known as priming. Priming people to be in the right state, priming them to purchase. For example, if I had numbers like 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 all the way to 10, have you estimate the value of that? Then I had another group do 10 times 9 times 8. Now, logically, we know those are the same. That go all the way to 1. They should be the same, but the estimations were hundreds versus thousands. because the 10 was in the front. There's different things, different ways you can do that. Priming example would also be students at a college. They were getting ready to take a test. They made it really easy to cheat on this test. But then they primed both groups. First group, they said, hey, can you recall a couple books you read in high school? Second group, can you recall a couple books from the Bible? The Bible group was less likely to cheat because they were primed with that. So atmosphere can be part of it. The expectations of purchasing. Even having a credit card logo on your website, on your storefront, increases sales. There's something about the atmosphere, the environment, the expectations. You've probably been in the stores before. You feel guilty for not buying because they've adjusted those expectations. So work on that. Another tool, reduce it to the ridiculous. Fun, easy to do. If you're dealing with a product service that seems like it's too much effort, too much time, too expensive, take too many years, reduce it to the ridiculous. It's very simple. Just do your math. What we're talking about is about 7 cents a day. It's about $5 a week. It's a can of soda a day. It's about $17 a month. Really, when you do the math over the next 2 months, it's probably about a minute a day to put it in perspective. In fact, I was coaching someone that sold software to medical doctors. They're like, oh, changing, training. No, really. Here are your benefits. It's only going to take 2 minutes a day over the next 3 months to upgrade your system and get this, this, and this. Or if I was selling life insurance. Well, there's a $500,000 policy and a $1 million policy, and really, for twice the coverage, we're talking about 7 cents a day. Put it in perspective. 7 cents a day over the next year. You could do it with time too, that sort of thing. Reduce it to the ridiculous. Next tool, sweeten the pot. What do they call that? I don't know. You're basically making the deal sweeter than it seems. You see it on every infomercial where they, oh, hey, I'd buy that. I'd pay $50 for that. And they start at $200, right? That's a good form of persuasion and sales. But then at the very end they say, but wait, there's more. That's sweeten the pot. Because if you put everything in a big CAD lump list, you get all this for this, it reduces the value of everything. That's why car dealerships, everything on the sticker, windshield wipers cost this much, brakes cost this much, this costs this much, because the value is there. In fact, a study was done at a bake sale. Pretty simple. Hey, cupcake, 2 cookies, 40% bought. The next group, hey, you get a cupcake, and as a bonus, you get 2 cookies. They went up to 70%. So the first group, they put it all together. Second group, they said, hey, cupcake's $1. And as a bonus, you get 2 cookies, 70% bought, 30% bought for a simple technique that you can apply. So don't put everything in one category. Just like if you're selling your house. Whole house is this amount. No. So you say the whole house is $300,000, plus you'll include the piano and the new cupboards in the garage and the play set and the fill away. No, the house is $300,000, but wait. The piano, that's worth $1,000. Cupboard's worth, that's $2,000. Place that's worth $1,000. Right? Put value, put it on there. And never say, hey, I'll throw this in. Not good verbal packaging. Say, no, here's the value. So everything you put in this sweeten the pot, you need to put a value in. And people buy just for the sweetening. When they say, but wait, there's more, that's cooler stuff than the actual thing you're getting. That's how you sweeten it. So what can you add that has value at the end? That's a bonus, something that they can get. Another tool, change perspective. Cause marketing. Tom Pater talks about Paul Newman all the time. He has this company, they're giving back to charities. They give billions back. People will pay more because there's a cause, there's a purpose, there's a reason. That's cause marketing. Just exchange, take a look at what you're doing and what could be the cause that you're doing. How you can change that perspective. At college, put the big sign, don't walk on the grass. Nobody who cares. But they said, give Earth a chance. That changes perspective and that changes the meaning, and now it's okay. Or hotels do this. They put a little sign in the bathroom or on the bed that says, hey, when we give you clean sheets and clean towels, whew, you're a bad person. I don't put in that part. All the money and the water and detergent, bad for the environment. What are you thinking? I mean, if you really want them, we'll give them to you. But whew, if you ask us, obviously they don't do it in that tone. And it's like it's on you to save the environment. They've changed their perspective when they're actually probably doing it, as you know, to save money. So how can you change that perspective, have a cause, have a purpose, have a reason that can change the sales game? Another tool, ROI, ROT, ROE. What do those mean? Return on investment, return on time spent, return on your energy used. That's important. You have to, and this is where they see the benefits bigger than the features, that how it's really going to solve their problem, change their life. Because will people pay for it? Absolutely. Would people spend $10 to make $100 all day long? That's return on investment. Will people spend 10 minutes to save 3 hours? Usually, probably the energy, the time. That's why you make it a no-brainer. Will someone spend $10,000 to save $100,000 in their business? Yes. You've got to map it out. They've got to see, well, like, duh. If I spend 10, I get 100. If I spend 100, I save 1,000. Whatever perspective they're taking, you've got to map that out for them to where like, oh, well, that's nothing. You know, the knee-jerk reaction, oh, it's too expensive. Like, well, no, not really. When you do the math, the return on investment, the return on your time spent, the return on the energy can make a big difference, and that's what you're looking for. You have to spell it out for them, and don't expect them to figure it out on their own. You've got to figure it out. Another tool, DITF. What does that stand for? Door in the face. This is an incredible one to where you're creating that anchor, the starting point. You're showing them the value. You're showing the retail. You're going as high as you can. We use it in negotiation training all the time. But this is something that you can implement, you can use to make sure you're getting the right perspective. Used car Rolls Royce. You go to a car dealership. I want to spend $20,000. They're going to show you a $30,000 car. You'll probably walk away with a $25,000 car. That's just how the brain works. You've got to change the perception, go big, go low. A couple studies at blood drive. Hey, you donate blood today? And a very low amount did. But when they said, door in the face, hey, we donate blood every 2 months for the next 3 years. Like, no. Will you at least donate today? Doubled the yeses. Hey, we do a 2-minute survey. 25% say, yeah, we can do that. But when they say, hey, we do a 2-hour survey? No. Will you at least give me 2 minutes? 50%. So such a simple thing. Go big or go home, as they say, and that's what door in the face is. It sets that anchor, the starting point. You can use it with time, energy, resources. It just adjusts the perception because they have that expectation. Remember, this is what it's worth. This is what the car's worth. This is what your product's worth. You've got to change it. No, it's worth a lot more, and then you can downgrade. Because if you're in especially a negotiation, and you start with the perfect price, you have nowhere to go. So a lot of situations you can use this. As a college professor, I do this. I've noticed a trend with students of whining and complaining. You assign a 10-page paper, whine, complain. So what I do? Very easy fix. You sign a 20-page paper. Oh, whine, complain. Like, tell you what. See, I started high. You do this resource, this format, and do this. Do a great job. 10 pages. They cheer, they rejoice. I am now the hero. Try it. Next tool. Some call it the negative forecast or the what if. Just put it, those negative, pessimistic, not going to work people. They say, look, software costs $10,000. I know we're projecting to make $500,000. Let's say, what if? Worst case, we broke even on it and it saved this time, it saved your customers, you made this money here, you did this, you rearranged this, and we broke even. Would it still be worth it? And they're like, oh, yeah. So sometimes you just go, well, what if? We just barely went past the break-even part, but it saved this and it did this, like we've been talking about. Pretty simple one to do, just the what if, the negative forecasting. Look at the worst-case scenario. That's not for everybody, but that's how some brains are wired and programmed. That's another tool that you can use. So what's your homework? Practice these. Choose one of these. So a couple things here with that. Practice a new one. Choose one. Don't try them all at once, but choose one a week, 2 a month, whatever you need to do to get better. Then just keep practicing them. Because when they get the price, they should be excited and say, that's it? Wow, I spent $1,000, I get $10,000. That's easy. That's a no-brainer. Let's do it. Even if they can't afford it, that's what they're going to say. That's what you want. It's up to you. You have that moral and ethical obligation to persuade and sell them. Number 1. Number 2, change your mindset that you're worth it. Number 3, put it in perspective where it's a no-brainer and they are able to do this. A lot of tools, a lot of techniques that you can work through. A tool a week. Now, if you can improve 1-2% a week, I mean, that's nothing. You improve your sales by 2% a week. That means you're doubling your income every year or more. And that's something that you can do. Your side hustle, your business, that's the key. That's what we can focus on. That's what you can do. So work on these tools. Keep going back to them. Don't say that was nice. And use it to persuade your family, friends. Sell them on the successandmoneyfoundation.org. Hello, what a no-brainer. How much does it cost? Nothing. Here's the value I get. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of trading videos. And I get paid to earn. Learn to earn. Wow, if you can't persuade people on that, what's up? But practice, because people are skeptical at first. Too good to be true. How are you going to do this? Tell your family and friends about it. Send out your QR code. You know the drill. You know what to do. Practice these skills. Become more persuasive. Learn how to sell. Build and grow your side hustle, your entrepreneurial business. Take care of your family and friends and your children financially. And as you do it, make the world a better place.
Thanks, Kurt. We always love having Kurt join us we call it the Sam's Sales School. And sales is about solving problems. It's not about wrenching somebody in, it's solving problems. And if you can learn the game's much more fun.